This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. For more great podcasts, head over to bigheadsmedia.com.
Spooky.
Hi there, folks, and welcome to TV Tuners. It's a television podcast for the true fanatics, usually. I'm your host, Swanson. With me, as always, is my co-host and weirdo owner of a hotel, Stairmaster.
Look at this painting. It is of the man who died. We are valorizing his proletarian contributions to mountaineering.
Oh, alright, that's cool and all. I'm just here to see it. I heard a crime was happening.
Oh, would you like to meet my dog? He's incredibly intelligent.
Good dog.
Ruff!
Alright, good on him. And of course, with us as always is our other co-host and secret hitman, Kyorain.
Listen, I'm doing crimes. I'm teaming up with aliens. It's crazy, man. This is insane. That's off the chain. Yeah.
I don't think
I'm gonna kill some people.
Was he teaming up with the aliens? I thought he was killing the aliens.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, the plot got away from me at a certain point.
You know that movie, like, from the 80s where the Hispanic gang, like, recruits a robot that escaped and teaches it to do crime?
We're not talking about Short Circuit, are we?
Maybe? Is that Short Circuit?
I mean, I don't think Short Circuit, the original, has a scene where Johnny Five gets recruited into a gang. But, I don't know, maybe Short Circuit 2 does.
I don't know. But that's what it's like.
I don't know what you're talking about at all. I'm a novice to film and television, as you guys know.
Well, Short Circuit was a very shitty, from my remembrance, movie about an experimental military robot that gets struck by lightning and gains human-like intelligence. Popular, of course, for the catchphrase "Number 5," or rather, Johnny 5 is alive.
Oh yeah, Short Circuit 2 is that movie I'm talking about.
Yeah, that was probably racist,
Rob.
right?
Probably.
I do know that. Well, actually, it was super racist, right? Don't they have a white dude pretending to be like an Indian?
What? You think that? Where are they gonna find an Indian actor? Swanson, come on.
India?
Uh-oh.
The whole country had him.
Sorry, Hank Azaria has bills to pay, Swanson.
Yeah, you're right. Alright, so this is a bonus episode of TV Tuners sponsored by Buy Me a Coffee. Our good pal, friend from Estonia, a listener from Estonia, Martin.
Real country, I can't believe it.
Yeah, a real nation that exists and seems like a pretty cool place. Our listener from Estonia, Martin, gave us this suggestion of a Estonian film called Dead Mountaineer's Hotel.
And by cool, we mean strictly cold.
Yes, I mean literally cool.
Like 10 degrees Celsius.
Yeah. I mean, it is cool that we have, like, a listener in Estonia. If there's any more Estonian listeners, be sure to hit us up on Twitter and such.
Maybe you can dub our podcast so we can get a wider audience.
I just like the idea of us having international listeners of any stripe. So if you're abroad, not in America or Canada, and if you're not in the North American region, let us know.
If you know people in Iran who listen to podcasts, please share us with them.
Yeah, we need more Bosnian listeners, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was hoping that we could get.
Don't say that, you're going to scare off the Croatians.
I was hoping that we could get a lot of listeners from, like, Istanbul.
Don't you mean Constantinople?
No, it's not Constantinople.
Oh, now we lost a Greek audience.
Well, listen, it's nobody's business but the Turks.
Is there some kind of sectarian conflict between podcast listeners in other countries?
Like they don't like the idea that a rival country is listening to the same podcast as them. Listen, I'm not saying that we can bring about peace between Israel and Palestine, but I'm saying I don't think we could hurt things.
I think if every single person in both locations listened to our podcast, we could fix the problem.
Yeah, listen. All I'm saying is let them listen to TV tuners.
Well, they can't listen to it in Palestine because, the electrical grid is bombed out.
Well, we could drop some radios down from a...
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure they'll love that. A bunch of planes flying over their towns, dropping stuff.
We can drop some cassette tapes down and have TV tuners or best ofs on them.
Oh, that's what we should be doing, a TV tuners best of clip show.
On cassette.
Yeah. I mean in general.
Yeah, but we have to mention at the beginning that Israel is apartheid before we get started, though.
Yes.
Well, yeah, of course. Before we start talking about this Estonian film.
But what will we say on the Israeli cassette tapes?
You are correct. Keep doing what you're doing.
We would say Israel is apartheid, but that's fine. We're not going to judge.
God's plan.
We don't judge. Only God does. And I'm sure he's totally cool with what you're doing. Anyway, so this was brought to us by Martin over at Buy Me a Coffee. You too can support us on Buy Me a Coffee and get a bonus episode of your own based on anything you want us to talk about. A single coffee gets you a single episode or topic for us to discuss. A movie of some sort, perhaps, like this. So yes, it is Dead Mountaineer's Hotel. I was given an email from Martin about Dead Mountaineer's Hotel that has some fun facts in them. Should I go through them now, or do we want to save it for the end?
Why don't you bring them up when they're relevant?
Because, I don't know.
They're all over the place? Okay, let's bring them up now.
All right.
I want the details immediately. Inject them right in here.
No, don't do it!
Oh, well, I'm getting the syringe ready here, so prepare yourself, Gil, right? If you want to look away or...
This is just like the corner.
Hello. I thought I'd give some additional context about the movie, because I'm pretty sure that you can't find out that much from the English information on the internet. So there are some interesting things about the film. It's the first sci-fi film made in Estonia.
Wow.
The authors of the original novel are the same ones who made Roadside Picnic, which is the adaptation, which is later adapted into the famous Tarkovsky movie Stalker, which came out the same year actually as this.
Ooh.
So we can tell why one. So one kind of got overshadowed by the other, I think. Now, I don't think I've seen Stalker, but, I've heard good things.
I played Stalker on the personal computer.
I think those are different things.
They're loosely inspired.
I watched Stalkers, starring Dylan McDermott.
What?
Oh, I also watched that. Is Stalker anything like that?
Stalkers does have anomalies, like black people teleporting around.
No, that's hostages.
Interesting.
Shit.
But yes, the same duo is behind the novel Dead Mountaineers Inn, as they are with the film Stalker. So that's good. Also, the film Stalker twice as long as the one we watched today. So,
wow.
So
thanks,
it was the Snyder cut of its age.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Well, this one was also...
That's crazy.
Well, most Russian movies were 4:3, I think, until the late 90s.
Yeah.
They didn't change over to 16:9 like American theaters did.
Here's the part that I think is the most interesting from these factoids that Martin supplied us with. The soundtrack was made by a 22-year-old Sven Grunberg using the first synthesizer in the Soviet Union.
Oh, yeah. I think by that point, America had an embargo on electronic exports to the Soviet Union, which kind of just strangled their computer industry in the cradle.
Dang. Brutal.
Well, they're doing a lot of firsts with this. First sci-fi, first synthesizer. This is, wow.
Yeah. Apparently, Grunberg became something of a popular figure in Estonia because of his use of synthesizers, and he was apparently a prog rock composer, so I figured Sarah would be into his stuff. That
explains fucking everything about this movie score.
Yeah. What do we think about this movie's score?
Oh, this guy really liked Emerson, Lake, and Palmer, I can tell.
I'm a sucker for a synth soundtrack, so I kind of liked it. But
Yeah.
Okay, this is an odd reversal for our usual roles where you guys are like, "Oh yeah, there was music in that." Where I didn't really notice the music too much.
The fucking synthesizer was like going hog wild.
Yeah, the opening is just like the synthesizer all up in the space. Where you just
that's the opening though. That's the opening. Like you expect to hear some music.
What about the dance scene?
Okay,
yeah, the dance scene, sure, but that was actually a scene where music was it was
actually
music
being played. Also, we should mention, I think part of the reason that this movie got suggested to us by Martin is that it has a really rad cover poster. I guess.
Oh, fuck yeah!
Keo, do you want to explain this poster to the audience?
Yeah. So first of all, there's a humanoid face. This is it's in black and white, and basically the top of this individual's cranium is like a socket with like a European style plug, kind of like the plug's kind of like not plugged in, but kind of like about to be plugged in or just unplugged, something like that. And he's just looking down, kind of sad with a hand to the face.
Yeah.
Just
there's some men shall become demons energy to this.
Yeah.
Eastern European film posters are awesome in general. Have you ever seen the one for Return of the Jedi, where it's just Darth Vader's helmet exploding?
Dang,
that's crazy.
That's cool. That slaps, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. The poster for this. If I saw this poster, I would definitely buy whatever was attached to it.
I would think it was like I would think it was like an album cover. I saw it.
Yeah, it does look like oddly enough, it does look like a prog rock album cover.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say that my opinion of the score in this one is that it had restraint, I think.
Oh, okay. Unlike the Snyder Cut.
Unlike the Snyder Cut. I
mean, where would you put Ancient
were
Lamentations in this movie? Near the end? When they're riding away?
Except, yeah.
I would play as soon as the helicopter comes on into view.
And, you just hear the whoop of the helicopter.
When I say
blades.
restraint, I mean the score knew when to shut up and let the characters talk.
True.
So that was good.
What would you do if the police officer guy opened his mouth and only synthesizer music came out?
I was like, wow.
Bold choice.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so the final bit here, Martin says, the shots of the mountains were actually filmed in Kazakhstan.
Oh, that... Huh, that's kind of strange. I figured it would be like the Caucasus or something.
Yeah. Also, this is, I guess this isn't supposed to actually take place in Estonia. It says it's set in a fictional Western country. So, interesting. Also, the lead actor, apparently this isn't his voice. He didn't speak Estonian, so his lines were dubbed by an Estonian actor.
Sort of like Wagnamora not knowing Portuguese or Spanish.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, wait, okay, I don't know this language, but those mouth flaps don't match.
Yeah, this guy had some charisma. He's like a Eastern European Harrison Ford.
Yeah, he's got. I was getting real Decker vibes from his whole spiel. Of course, he's way less cool than Decker because he ends up being a completely subservient cop.
I mean, Decker also is a subservient cop who gets his ass kicked a bunch by robots.
I guess that's true. In a way, this is sort of a proto Blade Runner.
Was it Blade Runner in 1977?
I thought.
I think it was 1980. Never mind, I'm stupid.
Yeah,
the prediction might have overlapped.
I mean, the movie, the novel precludes this novel, which was written in 1970. So, but anyway, yes, this has the similar feel of Blade Runner in the sense that it is a combination of science fiction and noir.
Noir,
but it's all set in one location, so it doesn't feel quite as sprawling. Also, it's not set in like a futuristic timescape. It's just a random
set in
Western country.
West.
Yeah, it's set in the mountains, which might as well be a barren landscape.
How is this dystopian?
Well,
yeah, I would actually say it seems like It seems like a relatively utopian place until the inspector shows up.
What to think about?
Yeah, it's a scenic shack in the snowy mountains
where various cultures seem to be able to mingle with no issues whatsoever until a figure of conformity and authority shows up and ruins it. Anyway, we'll talk more about that at the end, I think. So yes, we are introduced to Inspector Globetsky.
You're right.
He says he's recounting in perfect noir fashion. He is recounting the events that we were about to see transpire. I guess to us, but we don't know who he's actually talking to.
He says that he thinks about it in sleepless nights and on slow shifts, and says that he's still not sure if he's right or not.
And perhaps he comes to his own conclusions by the end. So, this place that he's going to is called the Dead Mountaineers Hotel, which, fellas, I gotta ask, if you're going to a hotel, you go to a place that has dead in the title?
No.
You're gonna steer clear of that, I think.
It depends on what the other words are.
Okay, what if it's Dead Mountaineers?
Maybe.
He gets an anonymous call. We are just following this dude in the car as the synth soundtrack is just going wild. We're just riding along with this guy for a good 2 minutes.
It's also sort of like The Shining. When they're driving.
Yeah, it definitely feels like The Shining. It's a weird hotel. It's in a frozen wasteland. Yeah, there's a definite Shining vibe to this. I could see. I could see Stephen King watching this and being inspired to write a.
Oh yeah, I guess this was before The Shining, wasn't it?
Yeah. This is definitely a movie that you come across at like 2 a.m. and you're just completely you're half awake, fascinated and frightened all at the same time.
Okay, The Shining came out in 1980, so that the production probably also overlapped this. So there was just something going on.
It's just this cultural zeitgeist of the time that people wanted frozen wastelands and people in hotels going insane.
And robots.
Yeah, noted robots in The Shining. Yeah, crazy scene in The Shining where those two robots are giving each other head.
There's a pretty strong historical basis for something going on, obviously, with technology, right?
Yeah.
Well, not caveman times.
I mean, we were kind of doing some pretty amazing technology stuff at that time, and still are doing it.
Yeah, we've collected rocks at a whole new level.
We didn't have internet when these movies were being made.
True.
Household internet was not a thing.
True. I would argue that this movie and The Shining, while they have somewhat similar basis for what's going on, are getting at two completely different points. Mm-hmm. I don't think this one is asking us to think about the mental conditions of anybody, really.
Even though it sort of does feel like this guy's losing his mind.
Yeah, for sure. There's certain parts where it definitely feels like this guy is slowly becoming unhinged.
Mm.
He's being forced to question reality in a very distressing way.
Yeah. So yes, he goes to this place, the Dead Mountaineers Hotel. He received a anonymous call to head there. He gets there. He finds out that actually there is no anonymous call necessarily. He's just heading out. He just got he got a false tip. He decides to stay though because the mountains are foggy, which I think is a lie.
This is what we call a epic prank in
Yeah, have someone drive all the way out to these mountains so that he can just sort of hang out.
I think he meant the lying to your boss part.
Oh, yeah.
No, I meant the part where you got the anonymous tip as the prank. Lying to your boss to get off work is decidedly not a prank. It's not.
It's praxis.
There's no mischief involved.
Yeah. So the hotel manager explains that it's got its name from a climber who died when he fell off the cliff and left only his faithful dog, which is the dog that we see throughout here. It's a very skilled dog, by the way, able to take bags to one place from one place to another on command.
It knew the number too, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, he held up his fingers, and the dog knew exactly where to take it.
That is an incredibly intelligent dog. Like, that's something that you teach monkeys, not dogs.
If you told me that dog was an alien, I would have believed it.
I'm still not
Yeah,
sure.
maybe it was hinting something. With
Maybe that
how smart
dog is the
was.
thing. And it's just biding its time.
I mean, if this dog is in the book, that's such a weird element to include. It would have had to been intentional on the author's part, I think.
I don't
most
think
likely.
I don't think there's a dog in the book, from what I can tell.
Ruined.
I mean, maybe there's a dog in the book. He just doesn't factor into the plot, like this dog doesn't really.
Okay,
factor
there was
into
a
the
very
plot.
important character moment in this scene where the dog brings his bag to the room, and for a brief moment, I thought he wasn't going to pet this good boy.
Yeah,
And I was
luckily
thinking,
he
does.
does.
If he didn't pet this good boy, I would have been like, this guy's a sociopath.
Yeah, you would have known from the beginning that there was problems with this guy, and not near the end.
Yeah.
So yeah, he goes and he meets up with. He sees a lot of the lodgers here. They're real strange individuals.
One
This
of them has two of
guy,
the closest.
yeah, this guy who's hanging outside in the cold, named Hinkus.
They're not just Eastern European strange. They're just actually strange.
Yeah, they're not just like strange in the way that like foreigners are strange to us. They're strange in like a very very Lynchian, a David Lynchian way that they're strange. Yeah, Hinkus is. He says he has tuberculosis, which I'm pretty sure is a lie. And yeah, he's just sort of hanging out in the cold. And the inspector's like, "Huh, all right, weirdo."
Also, the inspector sees him throwing something in the snow.
Oh
Tells
yeah,
him to investigate.
yeah. Later, he is hanging out with the rest of the lodgers. We get introduced to there's Mr. and Mrs. Moses, who are a group of weirdos.
I wonder why they had the name Moses.
I don't know.
They
Just-
don't
that's
seem
what
to
they
lead anyone anywhere like the biblical Moses.
Well, they are leading their fellow alien and robot away, attempting to anyway.
Oh, I guess.
And then there's Olaf, who is infatuated with Brune, I think is her name. She's described as the owner's cousin, or like
Yeah.
or like
She's
something like that.
She's a Quattro Regina type. She's always wearing sunglasses.
Yes. And she has no respect for authority, which is cool. Anyway, yeah, they're very much in love, apparently.
Young
That's
love.
good for them. Have you ever fallen in love with a robot, guys?
No.
Oh, you know it.
Yeah, how would that go for you, Keo?
Not great.
Oh, all right. Who'd you fall in love with? The Crushinator?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
No good. Yeah. So he has dinner with all these strange folk, and it's a real wild time. They're dancing to Emerson, Lake and Palmer. It's wild. There's a lot of just crazy visuals that get thrown in here, which makes it feel even more like I'm watching like the last 30 minutes of Easy Rider. Also, there's a scene where he's playing the inspector's playing pool against Olaf, and Olaf is like Uncle Phil in that one episode of Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Yeah, it was Uncle Phil who just crushed the guy at pool.
I remember that.
Classic scene. He was like, "Jeffrey, bring out Lucille."
Oh yeah, Jeffrey's the one who knows martial arts.
Yeah.
That's his secret display of competency.
Yeah, I'm curious about this this billiard set. That was it just me, or were all the pieces the same?
Yeah, it was all the same balls, so I don't know how they knew who was winning.
Is it just like you get a certain number in and you win?
The dog was
I
keeping
guess.
track.
I guess, yeah, I don't know. I guess it's maybe this is like a different way of playing pool than how I've ever played it.
Yeah, it's got to be different. Otherwise, they just didn't have an actual set to play with, and they just winged it.
I guess you just get as many as you can in, and then you don't, as long as it's not the ball that you struck with to break.
I guess. And if you get more than half in, you win. I don't know.
Oh, whatever he needed to do, Olaf did it, and he won handily.
Well, if Martin can explain this in another email, that would be fantastic.
All right. Well, we'll see if he sends that in before the end of the episode.
Better hurry.
Yeah. So he gets a mysterious note that says that Hinkus is planning a murder.
Uh-oh.
So he leaves to go check this out, and he thinks Hinkus is right where he left him, but it's actually just like a blanket that he put some snow, that he used some snow to make it look like he's still hanging out there. Classic Hinkus.
And that's the real classic prank right there.
Yeah. This is around the point where things start getting real wild, like not real wild, but things start getting afoot. There's a strange visitor who they find. An avalanche happens first off, and things get completely blacked out.
And this is kind of the cop's fault as well because he's just screaming Hinkus.
Yes. Yeah, not a great way to do your motives here. If you know that Hinkus is on the loose, I don't think you go around screaming Hinkus.
Also,
Hinkus. Well,
wasn't the Mountaineer killed in an avalanche?
No, he fell off a cliff
because of an avalanche, I think.
It was an avalanche that killed the Mountaineer. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So they also find a strange visitor who was in the avalanche. Maybe I don't remember how they find this guy. He was just in the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just out in the open with hypothermia.
Yeah. And he's just like passed out, and they're like, "Huh, what's this dude's whole deal?" And he's like, "I was here to see Olaf." And so he goes searching for Olaf and finds his dead corpse.
And then we get this series of events where he's just like running from room to room, like meeting up with people, seeing people tied up.
Yeah, Hinkus is tied up, and a lot of this middle portion, he's bound and gagged. A lot of this middle portion is him trying to we're trying to unravel the mystery along with him in real time.
It's kind of fever dream-ish at this point.
Because he's going from room to room. The passage of time makes no sense, really. Like at
the
one
stories
point,
he's getting don't make sense as well.
Yeah, like at one point he says it's like 11 and then it's like 3 a.m.
He talks to the climber guy. The climber guy says he walked in on the lady and she just fell over and was bald. But the room's empty when they go there.
Oh no, if the room's not empty, she's alive and well.
Yes. Also, why was that climber guy naked when he found him, but in the flashback fully clothed?
Yeah, this was not asked. He was just like, this story doesn't make sense. Time to investigate.
Yeah. There's also a bit where he finds out that Brune is lying to him about Olaf, about when she and Olaf parted ways.
Mm-hmm. And also there is the briefcase from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, there's a briefcase which has like a weird sort of flesh-like contraption inside of it or something. Mm-hmm. It's hard to make out what it actually is supposed to be, but we find out at the end what it is. So yeah, he gets this briefcase, and he's like, yeah, strange stuff. I don't know what this briefcase does. He's like, anyway, I will keep it because I am an authority figure.
Yeah, he just locks it up and has the dog guard it, which is probably a very good move.
Yeah, no one else you could trust other than the dog, unless he's a thing creature. In which case, you've given him exactly what he wanted.
Falling right into his trap.
Yeah, so, I mean, fellas, you ever kiss someone and then their wig falls off?
Yeah.
It's no good.
Yeah, then they're dead.
Usually I'm on the other end of that.
And I'm the prime suspect.
There's a bit here where he's talking to Hinkus again after he's untied him. And, also, he walks into Hinkus' room after untying him, and he has to duck out because Hinkus throws like a bowl at it at the door. Anyway, he's talking with Hinkus, and Hinkus is like, I don't think you understand what I'm saying to you. I was attacked by myself.
Ooh. Remember, guys, if you ever open the door and you see your own face, like they're just a doppelganger, you have to kill them immediately.
Yeah, you can't fucking risk that.
This is like a classic prisoner's dilemma.
No. It's like, what if it's just a second you and you could team up? That would be really cool.
That's what they want you to do before they kill you, Kyorain.
Yeah. You can't trust yourself.
Yeah.
No, I would never kill me. That would be really
That's what you say now until there's two of you. Then you're like, suddenly, there's one disposable me.
What if that you is living your life? How can you... You have to kill him.
Okay, look, if I start thinking this way, then the other me is going to think this way is going to kill me.
Well... that's why you got to kill him. Because we...
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but your mind has been poisoned now.
No, I've never even considered it. I think this preposterous.
And also, this implies this is a perfect copy and not an evil.
You're walking into a door. You know that you are you. And you walk in. There's another you. Well, obviously, you're you, so that person's imposter.
You can't be sure that other person is you. Just that they look
that's
like
me.
you.
That's me. I'm going to say,
Lots of people can look like me, but I'm me.
Oh, like John Swanson?
Yeah, I'd have to kill him. Unless they're unless they are meeting me like, hey, don't kill me, and then show me ID that says that they are not actually me.
What if they show you the ID that shows that they are you?
I would ask, I would probably just kill them.
Okay, clear. Like, if they're older than me, that's the exception, because clearly it's a situation.
But if you're an alternate version of me here for some reason to, like, I don't know, recruit me for some weird thing that we need to do, you gotta start talking quick before I start murdering.
And if you reach into your pockets, I'm gonna strike. I'm not gonna give you the opportunity, so don't bother.
Okay, what if it's you? What if it's you with like a different skin tone and hair color and slightly more offense but lower defense?
Oh. Listen, guys, if it was me coming up on me, I wouldn't give him the chance. Wouldn't go down like that.
True.
The American version of this movie, if Mark Wahlberg was the inspector, would that work?
I think this would have to be Nicolas Cage.
Oh, yeah, it would. I feel like Nicolas Cage could play Hinkus.
He could play the climber.
Yeah. He could either play Mr. Moses or he could play Hinkus. But I feel like you need someone with like a weird face, like a Steve Buscemi type for Mr. Moses.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yes, there are two Hinkuses, or Hinkai. Do we call them Hinkai?
A murder
of Hinkais. Who are about, apparently. And when he gets this info, he's just like, huh. Well, that's weird.
That's alright.
Yeah, we start to see that the inspector is maybe not, willing to take in more fantastical elements to what's going on here.
Oh yeah, we do get a scene at dinner where he's like, I'm a rationalist. I don't believe in aliens.
Oh yeah, they have a whole conversation about aliens and how aliens have visited the Earth or not, and he's like, I don't believe in that.
He's like, please, I'm a cop. I don't believe in such things.
Yeah, he's like, I believe in the law. So there's this weird bit here where he goes to think about what's happening, and he's going into like a lounge area where on the TV, I guess, news footage is playing.
Yeah, some Videodrome shit is happening.
Yeah, it's footage of people falling off buildings. Or maybe just the same footage of a single person falling off a building. I'm not sure.
There's multiple angles involved.
Yeah, like it seemed like a news broadcast of like, today, suicide.
Today, a fire. There was no escape.
Today, a man has fallen into the city, to the river, Lego City.
Yeah, we do get to see the rescue helicopter.
Yeah. It's true. Aliens are leaving. You must assemble the helicopter.
Spoilers.
Well, listen, you'll figure out what that means in a second. So this is around the point where the inspector starts getting like very just needlessly cruel in how he delves out information, because he goes to Brune and is just like, Olaf is dead.
He was killed.
And he's like, I need you to tell me the truth. So she relays that actually they were, I guess they were like hooking up. This what happened.
That was one detail we kind of glossed over, is that Olaf's head was like jerked back with superhuman strength.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess, listen,
Grubsky is not scared at all at this proposition.
No, if I was an inspector, especially a rationalist, and I saw that, I'd be like, holy shit.
Is the killer like a gorilla or something?
Yeah, is there a gorilla let loose in here? I know they do that sometime. I know we've posited before
Yes.
on other podcasts if you could let one loose in TGI Fridays, but in a hotel? There's more places for a gorilla to hide.
The gorilla would not hide.
Look, just imagine Dunstan checks in, but Dunstan wants to kill.
Oh. So in this scenario, Dunstan does not fuck, he kills.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would have been the logical sequel to that movie.
Probably.
Dunstan checks out others. Yeah, he there's a bit here where she explains the whole situation is that she and Olaf were fooling around, and then
romantic tryst.
Yes, and then she left him after that. Or no, the avalanche happens, and he's like, "You must leave!"
Yeah, he heroically sacrifices himself.
Yeah. What was that? What did that... Like, I was... The editing in some of these scenes makes the things make less sense to me. Like, did the avalanche... I guess the avalanche took out the power, so he was saying that she had to leave before she figured out he was a robot? Is that what I'm getting here?
Yes. I think he didn't understand how avalanches worked.
Yeah, maybe not. I guess, yeah, because the avalanche was heading towards them, and he's just like, "What? This window won't stop it." Yeah, I don't know. And then, yeah, she left, and now he's a dead guy.
A dead mountaineer.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, he's a regular dead mountaineer.
The kind of mountaineer who doesn't climb the mountain, just stays inside.
Well, he had to climb it somewhat to get to that hotel. This is clearly above sea level.
Well, I mean,
yeah, but it's just driving a car, though. Is that mountaineering to drive a car?
Also, spoilers for the end of the movie. It doesn't seem like he has very much problem maneuvering around when he needs to. There's a bit here. It's throwaway dialogue, but I thought it was really funny, or real fun anyway. Where he's talking about the owner of the hotel starts talking about zombies.
Where he's like, what this movie's about now?
Yeah, where he was like, some people in Central Africa believe that they can raise the dead. They're called zombies. Perhaps it's the third life of living organisms. Third stage, yeah. And
some stupid anime postulations.
Yeah,
he just kind of he totally no sells this.
He's like, whatever. He's like, I don't know what the fuck this guy's talking about, but I can't dwell on it. At this point, the strange person who came in from the cold, is awake now. His name is like Lorvik or something like that.
Lorvik.
Yeah, he's a regular Mario situation here. And yeah, if you told me that if he had just said he was straight up an alien, I feel like everyone would believe that. This dude's like a very strange fellow.
Well, I eat food like he does.
Just eat a whole lemon. Just you bite into it, skin and all.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Like, as soon as I get to the table, I just like, without a moment's pause,
grab a lemon.
I just grab the lemon.
Yeah, and eat it. Luvik seems like he's very out of it, can barely speak to the inspector, but does say that he is here to speak with Olaf and doesn't seem to understand that Olaf is dead, or doesn't seem to understand what that even means. Like, he seems unconcerned with the possibility of someone being dead.
Yeah, it's trying to figure out sentences, I think, as well.
Yeah, because, as we learn later, this guy is slowly dying from something that happened to him, right?
Yeah. His power is going down.
Well, not Lorvik. Lorvik's an alien.
Oh.
Yeah, his suit is damaged, so like the earth air is slowly killing him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what that makes sense. Lorvik is like, yeah, I'm going to talk with Olaf, and he's like, you can't. Olaf's dead. He's like, I'm going to speak with him. Like, talk with him real good. We're going to have a sit down conversation.
Let me talk to him.
And he's like, all right, whatever. We're getting nothing out of this dude. So he falls asleep, and has like a strange dream where people are laughing at him as he like falls down a mountainside.
Yes.
He wakes up and he goes to breakfast. He has a bit here where he just tries to intimidate everybody by saying that he sent for the police by pigeon, which is like the worst lie I've heard in my life.
Yeah, they're just like, oh?
Like, the best part is that the film itself immediately undercuts it by having him be like, I knew it was a bad line.
Had no one respected me after.
Yeah. He's like, well, dang. I knew the pigeon line was a stinker, but I tried it anyway.
They seemed weird enough to maybe believe it.
And yeah,
is this where the dog finds the gun for him?
Yeah, I think this was before the breakfast, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's actually, I think, before he even talks to Lorvik. Because the dog finds the gun for him. Good dog.
He brings him the gun. And I understand he wants to know where it was found.
Yeah. So he goes and... Yeah, what a good dog. Dang.
He figures out it's right where... what was his name?
Hinkle
was throwing shit. Hinkus.
Yeah, Hinkus threw it into the wilderness, the tundra, and so he finds this gun, and the last two people eating breakfast are just him and Hinkus. They're just having like a stare off. So then he's like, Hinkus, why don't you come with me to my secret place where I interrogate people? So he takes him. It's just the place where they were playing pool. So he takes him there, and Hinkus...
He calls it the interrogation room like it was designated that way in the first place.
Yeah, and not just a place that he made an interrogation room specifically for Hinkus.
I gotta try that.
Hey, come to the interrogation room with me. Isn't this the bathroom? I said what it was.
You get like plus 10 intimidation points on that one.
Yeah. So yeah, he brings Hinkus there, and he's like, Hinkus, you're gonna tell me everything you know. He pulls out the gun that he found. Hinkus starts. This is when Hinkus reveals that he's a member of a hit squad.
Yes.
Yeah. So
they're referred to as terrorists, which I can't tell if that's like just a thing the novelists put in, or if it's a censorship because they don't want to make organized crime look cool anyway.
I'm not sure. They say gangster and terrorist indiscriminately. So I don't know if that's the inspector of his own bias or what.
Yeah, you mean interchangeably?
Yes.
Interchangeably, yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Because in the novel, it's the same way. Hinkus is a gangster who is sent by his boss to kill, or to track down, I guess, the Mr. Moses, who is called the Master. And apparently he helped the gang do a couple of high-profile robberies before running away. In this he's referred to as the Master. In the novel, apparently he's called Beelzebub, which is cooler.
That's hardcore.
Way cooler crime name.
Yeah. Also, he doesn't give a name to his boss. In the book, his boss is called Champion.
That's great. I love that.
So yeah, we don't know the whole nature of what's going on here until the end, but in terms of like the crime stuff. But yeah, Hinkus is a hitman essentially. He's here to track him down, and then his bosses are going to come and kill him. Essentially, he said, and like the inspectors asked him like how many people does your guy usually come with? And he's like, at least 3. He's like, I can't take 3.
Yeah, like 2 maybe.
And then we find out
3,
he couldn't even take 1.
No, he can't even take Hinkus. Hinkus beats the shit out of him, and then only escapes, or only gets caught because I don't remember this dude's name.
Savello, but the hotel guy.
Yeah, he's the guy who has an infatuation with Mrs. Moses.
Oh, I think that's a creepy climber guy then.
Yes, Simonet. Yeah. He comes in and hits him with a pole stick, just cracks him over the head with it. And he's like, "Hey, you all right?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's fine. Thank you for making sure I don't die." Do you think he was gonna kill him right here, or just knock him out?
I think he would be happy with either outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not much concern over this fate here.
So yeah, the plot is slowly beginning to unravel here, and things are getting even more sort of weird and intense. So Hinkus gets caught, and he's like, "Yeah, my boss is coming. The things are going to get real bad for these folks because he's going to kill them." And the inspector's like, "Not my problem. You're a criminal. You need to you're going to be apprehended." And
he's like, "Yeah, you're nasty crime boys. I'm a cop. You know how this goes down.
Yeah.
Like,
there's only one way that this ends, or two ways if I have a gun."
Yeah. So I've been a cop for 100 years now. It's just how I do.
He did say he had 40 years of experience, so this dude has to be pushing 50 or 60.
Yeah.
So yeah, he I forget what happens exactly that leads him to the room, but he heads into the Moses' room. I think maybe Simonette takes him there, and he sees himself there. And
with this hypnosis.
Yeah, he's he's briefly confused, and then he's just like, "Cut this shit." And it turns back into Mrs. Moses.
Yeah, that's the best explanation he could come up with was hypnosis, not nothing else.
And this is where Moses spills the beans here. So Mr. Moses is an alien. So is Lorvik. Lorvik is their pilot, essentially. Mr. Moses came to this planet because he simply as an observer, but eventually he found humans too interesting, so he decided to step in.
He thought we needed their help.
Yeah, he describes human life as too complex. And basically, the story here, as the novel tells it, because it's a little too twisty in the description of the movie itself. Basically, he got conned into doing work for this gang. And then after a couple of high-profile robberies, he realized that this was not actually a form of justice, and so he left. It was
not friendly.
Yeah. Which explains why Hinkus says that, he did a job with this dude, and he said no killing, and he's like, that was so weird.
It's like, why doesn't this guy let us kill? Yeah. What a weirdo. He says if we take hostages, don't kill them? What?
Also, a detail that I just realized by skimming the Wikipedia page of the novel. I don't know if they imply it at the end here. I guess maybe they do. But apparently, Hinkus expects his boss to come with the plane and not just kill the aliens, but everyone at the end.
That's a little bit excessive.
So I guess he dooms everybody here. Anyway, so yeah, the alien is like, we need to return to our home. We're going to return to our home world, or I guess just leave. I don't know what the plan is. But they're not planning on sticking around is the thing. So they're gonna jet, and the inspector's like, no, actually, no.
No, you're all going to jail. You just told me you were a robber. You're going to jail.
Yeah, listen, I know you just also told me you were aliens, but I don't believe that. So,
yeah, I believe the part about you being criminals because, been there, done that. But aliens,
not so much. And Simonette is like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Did you not just see yourself?
Yeah, everyone else in the hotel just turns on him at this point.
Yeah, especially Simonette, who was I guess the conscience of this part of the movie, because he is just spouting off on this dude constantly. He's like, "You're nothing but a typical cop." At one point he calls him Hero Cop.
Yells at him right after the climax.
He calls him a pawn too at a certain point. He's just going all in on this dude, and he's just like, "Stop calling me that. Listen, you haven't done any crimes yet, so I can't get mad at you, but."
It's like, I'm a cop. I'm a proud cop. I've been a cop for 40 years. This is how I cop.
Yeah. This is how you can tell it's a different country that's making this, because if this had happened in the American version, he would have arrested Simonette and then been justified doing so.
Well, Simonette would have done something violent for no reason to justify being
instead of just yelling at him for making poor decisions.
Yeah, he would have I don't know, got a knife out or threw a blade at Frisbee or something.
And he would have been, just ventilated, squibs everywhere.
Yeah, and he would have been like, and then like the owner of the hotel would have been like, "There's nothing you could have done."
That was self-defense.
That's what we call self-defense. So yeah. He's like, no, the aliens need to be apprehended. I'm calling it in. And he goes at a certain point. He's like, listen, that we're calling it in. These guys are getting gone. And then I guess Simonet does technically do something violent because he breaks this dude's arm.
Yeah.
Him and the hotel guy just like try to apprehend the cop, and he's like, "No, hey, what are you doing?" They go and retrieve the briefcase, and they're gonna go give it to the aliens. And he gets beaten up pretty bad, right? Because his arm is like in bad shape for the rest of this movie.
Yeah. Well, there isn't much left, but yeah.
But yeah, so the aliens, I guess, get their robots up and running just in time. And I guess the robots just sort of serve as little scooters for them to ride across the plains on.
Yeah.
Just little motor scooters for them. They're just mushing along. It is kind of It is kind of cool to see them like riding along on these little things, riding away to freedom. Until a military helicopter shows up
and it blows them up.
It just blows them up. So obviously this helicopter is supposed to be champion. It's not just like a thing that the detective called in. And yeah, he just blows them up. And they're dead, and the rest of the crew in the inn is just like, "You're a complete asshole, piece of shit. Why didn't you help them?"
He had a line where he said he was relieved that this was in someone else's hands.
Yeah, not his own. And unfortunately, it was in the wrong hands. He actually helped a criminal, technically, by refusing to act. Or I don't know. Maybe that's the difference from this and the novel. Was this supposed to be an actual military helicopter, or is this supposed to be the mob guy?
He seemed to think that it was the actual military.
Yeah.
I don't know why they would have been there, though.
Well, that's the thing. He says himself that he wasn't even able to contact them. So
yeah.
Because in the novel, I believe it ends a similar way. Yeah. So they're dead. He's and then we get top 10 mask off moment from this guy, where the end it cuts to black and white, and he is talking directly to the camera, where he was like, "Listen, I was justified in everything I did, okay?
If they were criminals, they had to be arrested. If they weren't criminals, they weren't human."
Yeah, so it's not even trying to hide it anymore.
Yeah.
This guy is like full on villain mode, trying to like rationalize his poor actions to himself.
Yeah, what a nasty man.
Yeah, and then it ends there with him being like, "Listen, you know, if they weren't criminals, then that means they weren't human, and if they weren't human, how am I expected to feel anything for them?" And that's where we end. That's where we end the movie with there's a shot of an avalanche, and then that's the end, right?
Yes.
It kind of contradicts his line from the beginning, though, where he's saying he doesn't know if he knew what he was doing was right.
Plot hole.
I think the thing is, yeah, you can drive a truck through it. I think he's supposed to be going over it through in his own head, and that's the movie that we're witnessing.
Yeah.
Like he that's him mulling it over, and at the end he's like, I guess I was right.
It's actually a Better Call Saul sort of scenario where it's a flashback, and the black and white is the present.
Yes.
Something to think about.
Best wishes.
Anyway, yeah, I guess in the novel it ends the same way, where there's an attempted getaway from the aliens, and they're met by a helicopter and gunned down, and I guess that's just the end. So I guess we don't know whether or not Champion actually guns down everybody else, or just leaves in his little helicopter and goes away. I mean, it's presumed that I guess he does just leave, right?
And Mr. Cop would have been killed too, right?
Yeah. So yeah, the whole plan of them leaving is fruitless, and also he doesn't accomplish anything by doing any of this. So he's actually just a huge asshole for no reason.
Yeah, things would have been better if he hadn't shown up.
Yeah, of course. Like I said at the beginning, there's some clear subtext here about like a group of non-conformists who are immediately met by a figure of authority, and their lives are worse for it.
Yeah.
Lesson learned. Don't call the cops.
Yeah.
I mean, that is something we have been learning for a while now, I think.
Yeah. And I think it's probably works better because this is like a Soviet era film, so there's probably definitely some Soviet subtext to this, right? Mm-hmm. About their regime. Tension. Yeah. And that is the end of this little film here. Well, what do we think of this bad boy?
I was pleasantly surprised. I thought this was just going to be like a 2007 slasher film or something.
You think Martin would let us down?
Yes.
Oh, bold.
I don't know what goes on in that head of his.
Yeah, who knows?
Who can understand the mind of an Estonian?
Yeah, are his thoughts even in English? I don't think so.
Probably not. It'd be bold for us to assume that his thoughts are in English.
Oh.
Yeah, so this film, first off, we gotta say that this film was actually pretty hard to track down. It's no longer on YouTube. It was at a certain point on YouTube. We had to appeal to Martin himself to give us a secret code that we had to enter in. We had to get our own briefcase.
And Martin went on, like, I don't know, Soviet YouTube or something and got it. I don't know what happened.
He went into his local bunker and retrieved a cassette tape.
Yeah, he went on the Stalin tube and found it.
Yeah. We just call that the Moscow Metro.
Well, yeah, they've changed it since the regime change. Back in the early days of the internet, it was called Stalin Tube. So yes, this is it was good. I liked it. I'd give it a solid tune in.
Yep.
If you can find it, watch it.
Yeah, that's a tune in. You won't find it unless, like, I don't know, you have some kind of...
You can get, like, a DVD from 1999.
Yeah. You can get... It's not even labeled as a DVD. It's labeled as a DVD-R.
Oh. So you can rewrite it?
I guess, yeah.
Well,
get a new ending.
Well, at least it's in TSC and not PAL. That's what matters.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, you can. So if you feel like tracking this down, if what we've explained to you is of interest, I would recommend doing so. And yeah, that's about it for Dead Mountaineers Hotel, and that's about it for our bonus episode here. But hey, that's not all of the bonus episodes we got going your way.
What?
Next time around on our TV Tuners bonus episodes, we're starting a new mini-series where we're going to be watching the television program known as Gilmore Girls.
Oh, wow.
I like to title this mini-series The Gilmore, the Gilmarier. And we'll see if that holds true when we start it. We're going to be watching 5 episodes of that.
So for 5 weeks, we'll be doing this.
That's right. And from there, who knows what awaits us in the magical world. But again, if you have something, the grim world of Buy Me a Coffee subjects. Again, if you have something that you want us to watch, talk about, listen to, go over to Buy Me a Coffee /TV Tuners. A single coffee will get you a single topic or episode, I suppose, of us talking about that thing. So, yeah, we'll be back next time with the beginning of our Gilmore Girls series. Until then, keep mountaineering. Bye. It's over.
Spooky.
Hey folks, time for the TV Tuners Denver Estonian fact of the year. Did you know that Stairmaster is a dead mountaineer?